let's talk about
Yeah.
Megalopolis.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm starting to understand the why the reviews are not good for Megalopolis.
Uh-oh. Please read if you would,
All
Alan.
right, here we go. Headline. This is from Variety. Francis Ford Coppola didn't want Megalopolis to be some woke Hollywood production, and says the cast includes people who are canceled.
Ooh.
Francis Ford Coppola told Rolling Stone that his intention with Megalopolis was to make a movie that could not be deemed some woke Hollywood production. The cast includes controversial actors such as Jon Voight, who has turned heads in Hollywood for his conservative views and outspoken support of Donald Trump, and Shia LaBeouf, who is accused of sexual assault. I mean, I find this interesting that what makes Jon Voight controversial is that he's a conservative and supports Trump.
So that's it. So if you have your own political views, your opinion, you are only punished if you have one political view from one side. Am I understanding
That's
it correctly?
Yeah. I mean, what other than his relationship with Angelina Jolie, what other controversies has Jon Voight ever been involved in? He supports the troops. He supports veterans. I'm not saying that we are picking a side in the political debate, but we just find it interesting that when you pick a side in the political debate, you now become controversial.
Right, but it's only one side, and it's only the mainstream media that tends to do this. They don't. First of all, actors can have whatever political opinions they want. I think it's foolish to, push your views if it's something that's not controversial, like, hey, let's plant some trees, let's support education in film, let's or film preservation. I think there are plenty of not controversial views, and I don't think any of those views are left or right wing. Like, let's solve homelessness. No matter how much money they spend on it, they seem to not be able to solve it, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But controversial is only being on one side of the political aisle. I think it's foolish. I think actors should be able to do that. I think it comes with a risk, and we'll get to that later because The Acolyte is still in the news because of a video that dropped from the star Amanda Stenberg. We'll look at it. But
let me just add to that. I mean, I watched this interview with the cast of Reagan. So Dennis Quaid, Penelope Ann Miller, Dan Lauria. That cast was, they said, yes, mostly conservatives, but there are a lot of Democrats, Harris supporters on it. And the topic of this interview was the fact that we, as, people left and right, probably agree on about 70% of things. But we've demonized that 30%.
Right.
And it's almost as if you just legislated based on the 70%, the things that we all agree on, this country would be a much better place. And we can continue to haggle over that 30%. This is the thing. Hollywood is, I think, especially since the 60s, has been pretty liberal. It's just turned up so much to where, being on the other side now makes you controversial.
Right.
All right. So, go ahead.
No, I think it's unfortunate. And I'll say this: Film Threat is a politically agnostic outlet.
Mm-hmm.
We will review, say, a drag queen documentary, and we will review movies released by the Daily Wire, which a lot of outlets tend to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
We are we don't really take a stand, and we will review any indie film. Now, you and I have our own personal views. You are, Alan, I say, looking at your Twitter feed, I wouldn't say you're controversial. I think it's funny. I think when you comment on politics, sometimes it's hard to tell where you stand. I mean,
but I
think I know because I know you. But anyone that doesn't know you is like, hey, I agree with him. But it's like you can't really You're very good.
I guess the term is Rorschach test.
Yeah, it is a Rorschach
when
test.
When you read my feed, I want you to kind of I want you to think about it from both sides.
Yeah, but it's also funny. I tend to do that too. When I comment on anything political, I try to make it funny at least, or at least have some insight without like pushing something.
Yeah, but when you do it, you get millions of comments, most of them hate, and then
people
make videos about it. And the Mary Sue will write an entire article about it.
But also I don't care. So there you go. I whatever. But no, this is smart, but also it explains why the movie is getting mixed reviews. And I go into every movie. I try to not bring in baggage about an actor or a director when it comes to a film. I go into the film. I judge the film as a film. The outside noise that's all around a film, like actors' comments or this, I try to put that aside and judge it fairly. For example, The Acolyte, I feel we judged it very fairly.
I think so.
And there was a lot of outside noise that was just, and we'll get to that later, but it doesn't change the work. Yeah. The work was, in the case of The Acolyte, just subpar, terrible, can't believe it was made, awful writing, and embarrassment. And it says that really Star Wars has reached rock bottom. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and look at our coverage of The Acolyte and our criticisms of The Acolyte, we never brought race into it. We may have brought in DEI practices, but we never, it was never the reason it was bad was never by the fact that there was a diverse cast in it, and it was never about Leslie Headland being a lesbian. It was just about it being a horrible, horrible story, and a lore killing story at that too.
Right.
All right. Coppola continue. Well, you want to continue or
no? Go ahead, and then we'll go to comments.
Okay. Coppola continues. What I didn't want to happen is that we're deemed some woke Hollywood production that's simply lecturing viewers. The cast features people who were canceled at one point or another. There were people who are arch conservatives and others who are extremely politically progressive, but we were all working on one film together. That was interesting, I thought. As far as work, let's see. I'm going to skip Shia LaBeouf. You can read that. Megalopolis star Adam Driver as an architect stars as Megalopolis stars Adam Driver as an architect with dreams of building a utopian city after a catastrophic incident leaves a New York-like metropolis in ruins. His plan is to make an enemy of the city's ruthless mayor and other political figures. The supporting cast also includes Aubrey Plaza, Dustin Hoffman, Lawrence Fishburne, Giancarlo Esposito, and Natalie Emmanuel. Controversy has engulfed Megalopolis since its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, where it sharply divided critics. Reports of Coppola's alleged misconduct on the set surfaced at around the same time, including claims that he kissed extras during the filming of a party scene. An additional controversy erupted this month when the Lionsgate debuted the trailer for Megalopolis and then had to pull it because of made-up quotes from movie critics. And Megalopolis comes out September 23rd.
Well, I, for one, can't wait to see it. We will review it here on this channel. And kudos to Coppola. Kudos to Coppola for taking the risk. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I want to say that the sharply divided by critics, I'm starting to feel like it's not about the quality of the movie that is dividing critics. But
right.
The fact that...
And are critics divided? They haven't, for the most part, most critics haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. How can they be divided? And we have to get past this thing of this person has a political view, so I'm going to not like things that they're in and not support it. I think that's infantile, but I think actors would be wise to, maybe get behind some things that everyone can agree upon, which is, as you pointed out, 70% of issues were kind of on the same page, like we should be, especially when it comes to the economy, which I believe is broken. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
I know. I saw an interview last night that said it wasn't broken. So
yeah, I didn't see that. Let's I'll wait to see it for myself.
Yeah.